Hey, how's everybody doing out there? I hope everybody's doing good. And if you're not doing good, I hope everything works out for the good. Today, I just want to say welcome to another episode with Speak Life Shine Bright. I'm your host, Kurt, and I pulled up to the city of brotherly love to do another podcast episode. And today is a special episode. I've been trying to get the Millers on this podcast, Speak Life Shine Bright, for some time now. You know, they have a busy schedule, but I caught them on a Saturday, you know, where they got a little bit of time. So we're going to bring the Millers on, and we're going to talk about real estate, family, marriage, and everything that comes with life that they're dealing with. And they're making it look good. Successful family. So I want y'all to give a round of applause to the Millers. How y'all doing today?
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Nice. You know, like I said, it's been some time, you know. I wanted to get y'all on the podcast. I started the podcast, Speak Life Shine Bright, 2 years ago. And, you know, coming to the wedding and everything, and they're seeing that glow and how y'all just merge together, you know, like clay. And I see how y'all make it happen in the real estate world and how y'all managing a family. So I said, let me get y'all on so y'all can share all the gems and how y'all make all this happen with the world. Right. So, Arica, first, where you from?
So, I originally am from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, okay. Shout out to Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. However, I lived in Canada for 20 years, mm-hmm. and I just came back to the U.S. in 2019.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. How
is that transition going?
It is, how would I say? It's amazing. It's a great transition in terms of just coming back home. Mm-hmm. But it's not an easy road. It was like a lot of relearning and reintegrating, and it is ongoing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Good to have you back in the States. You was gone for a while, but it's good.
So I'm back and forth now.
Okay.
I go back and forth because I still manage a business in Canada.
Nice. And another question we ask is, who raised you?
That's a good question. So in my household, I had both my parents.
Okay.
In the household, I feel like majority it was like my mom and my siblings. Mm-hmm. Because my dad, he was pretty busy with whatever he had going on between his businesses and
carpentry man, working man,
mm-hmm. and a whole lot of other things.
So okay, so you're saying your mom?
Yeah. So my dad and my parents are still together. Mm-hmm. They were in the same household. However, it wasn't a joint effort in the raising of the children. It was like my mom had how she feel and what she wanted in terms of for her children, and then my dad had his strict, militant, Mussolini style dictatorship.
But you said siblings, so tell the world, how many siblings do you have?
Ooh, wow. Okay.
She got to think. Wow, you see?
So I'm at 21 if I did the count right.
21 siblings.
Yeah.
And how many kids did your mom have?
So my mom had 14 natural births.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the last of the big families.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
14 single, no twins. She thugged it out, no epidural, and she kicked that same song to me with deliveries out. I listened, but...
So I guess that'll be your role model.
My role model, yeah, because in the sense that I didn't understand it and I didn't know at the time, mm-hmm. but she had me take care of a lot of her business dealings mm-hmm. and going over paperwork and running here and there with her to take care of business and come here, read this, go through this, help me, put this together. So, yeah, she pretty much kind of structured me for the mentality that I have. Mm-hmm. It's like go, go, go and get it done, figure it out regardless.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it made you into the woman who you are today.
Yeah, along with a lot of other, I should say, venturing out mm-hmm. and adding to and to build on what your own
personal experiences.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Nice. I guess Alfred, we'll ask you the same question. So where you from?
She's a superhero.
Oh, she's a superhero. Shout out to the superheroes. So, where you from?
I'm from Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Let's give a shout out to Philly. They're in the Super Bowl, right? Representing. I don't know if you watch the football, but yeah, they playing the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow for the Super Bowl. So shout out to Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. Yes.
So,
and who raised you?
My mother.
Your mother.
Yeah, my father was around early on, but my mother, she raised me.
Shout out to the moms. Building that strong, that solid ground so we can walk on and find ourselves in adulthood and become the men that they raised us to be. So shout out to the moms, you know what I'm saying? So I guess that's your role model as well?
That's not. I take her work ethic.
Work ethic.
Yeah, my role model would be a guy by the name of Dr. Vaughn.
Dr. Vaughn.
Role model for me, yeah.
And what's that brother's background?
He was captain in the Navy, only black man ever to be captain in the Navy. Publisher of books, first black man to buy real estate and write and publish books. Swum on an all-white team at the University of Pennsylvania as the only black man to ever do that.
Wow.
He's 98. He still does 10 push-ups a day, and he eats oatmeal every day. That's a role model for me.
Oh, yeah. Still living. 98. Let's give a shout out to him. Wow. That's amazing.
That's a role model.
Yes. So is that what inspired you to get into the real estate? I mean, you ain't doing the swimming, but you got it.
Actually, yes. Talking with him, he wrote the first book on how to buy real estate from the auction back in the 70s, and he brought a lot of properties from the auction, which inspired me not to go the auction way, but to get into what was going on now, which was house flipping. And I started out wholesaling first, and that's how I met him and hooked up with him, and that's what pushed me towards real estate.
Nice. Okay, we don't want to get too deep into the real estate, so we know a little bit about your background, where y'all grew up at, and who raised y'all. Now, when did y'all meet? When did y'all energy met? What's the day that y'all met, and y'all the first words, and how did that come about?
It's two different versions.
Right.
It's only supposed to be
one. No, but it is one version of the story. We was on a cruise in Honduras, and I was out working out in the morning, and I happened to see him come running by, her and Tabia with her sister.
Okay.
And I seen them, and they stopped over at this little area where they working out at. They got nails this long, but they
vacation mode.
Bags, right. So I went over there to ask them, did they need help? And they asked what I'd done, and I said real estate. And Tabia was like, well, my sister in the real estate, and we exchanged numbers, and it kind of like went from there.
Oh, nice.
And I think we met back up that later on that morning at the gym, and I believe we stayed together 6 hours.
Yeah,
walking around
doing the wedding. Y'all told the story in a kind of way, like y'all talked for like 5, 6, 7 hours. That y'all didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Conversation, everything, energy was so good.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. Very true.
Is that your same? Is that you have a different version?
Yeah, so kind of a little bit of twist. So where he said that, Octavia did ask him, what did he do? I'm steady working out because I'm very focused when I work out. So I'm really trying to get my workout on. And so him and Tavia are talking. And in my head, I'm like, okay, maybe Tavia is his type. I'm trying to get my workout on. And then she said, oh, well, my sister's also into real estate. And I was like, okay, cool. This is a great networking hookup. Like, perfect. I like networking. And I want to, get into doing real estate in the States, because at this time I was still in Canada. So, yeah, that is very true. And then he directed us to where the gym was. And I guess my sister gave him my number. We exchanged number. And now I'm at the gym, and now he's texting me when I'm in the gym, when we actually find the real gym, not the mechanical one, and manual one. And then he texts me when I'm in the gym, like, "Oh, you want me to come over there so I can help you show you how to work out?" And then I was like, "Okay, sure, you can come."
Yeah.
And then when he came to the gym, I'm like, okay, he's now around me, hanging out with me, showing us what to do together, but he's talking to me. So I'm like, okay, cool, like, you know. And then somehow my sister disappeared. And when she disappeared, I was like, I got to go find my sister. And then we just started talking, and the talking just lasts for hours, and just a little like fate coming in there, because we met like at 5 a.m. and the ship was supposed to dock at 8 a.m. But for some reason that day they was off schedule, and the docking didn't happen until like 1 p.m. So we were talking for all those hours, like right before they docked. And then right before they docked, we were like, okay, you know, we'll talk to each other later. We'll see you later. And we got off the ship. And then after we got back on, we hooked back up. And then we were like together right away. We went together. Right
just like that.
Yeah, my head out. Actually, honestly, after he went his way, I went my way, and I went back to get ready to get off the ship. As soon as I hit the room, my mom's like, "Oh wow, this is the first time I haven't seen you all day. Where you been all day?" And I was really joking, but I don't know. It was just like fate. I literally said, "Oh, I think I met my husband today."
Yep. I remember hearing that at the wedding.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, that's so crazy. Like 3 days later, we're in the gym working out. I'm dragging myself out the bed at 5 a.m. trying to keep up with it. I'm like,
you're already conditioned.
Yeah, I want to be at 5 a.m. or so. I'm going to make sure, and I'm dragging I'm like busted, eyes red, going to bed early, but it was still taking its effect on me. But by the third day working out, going to the gym with him, he stood in front of me while I'm on the elliptical, and he's like, you know, I think I can marry you. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I kind of know that already. So that was like
spoke it into
existence,
just like that.
Yep. Say what you want.
And what year was that? That was 2018. Y'all took that vacation.
2018.
And then a year later.
And then a year later, 2 or 3 days shy of the day we met, we got married.
And that was a beautiful wedding.
Yeah.
Ooh, shout out to the Millers. Jumping the broomstick, doing it the right way, not shacking up.
Yeah.
You know, showing the generations that you could turn it around and do it how it's supposed to be done. Yeah. Never gave up on love, because I was visiting. I came up. It's been a long time. I came up to Canada a couple times, and you were holding it down as a single mom, doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
And prior to that, when did you actually get into the real estate? Or what inspired you to get into the real estate? So
in my previous relationship that actually brought me to Canada, you know, the partnership wasn't like a cohesive partnership. And so after having the highs and lows of maintaining a household, like, you know, my partner at the time, he would, you know, sometimes he could provide, and sometimes it was okay, and then sometimes it wasn't, and then sometimes he just kind of like tuned out. And so I figured at some point, when I got to the this is not gonna work point, because I know what I want for my children, and I knew what I want for myself, and we had a lifestyle, and I'm like, I want to maintain this lifestyle, most importantly for my children. And so I'm like, I got to figure out something that I can do, that I can be present, to go to their school events, take them to their activities.
Mom duties.
Yes. I need a career where I can be present and I can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And thank you, God bless me.
Yes.
Shout out to my homegirl, Sandra Ray. She is the one that told me, I'm like, girl, I'm just going to finish my psychology degree. And she's like, okay, sure. You could just finish your psychology degree, but just do mortgages in the meantime. Oh, my goodness. And it just took off from there. So
while you going to school, you were learning the ins and outs of real estate.
Yeah, while I was going to school, I took the mortgage. Well, at the time in Canada, there wasn't a mortgage agent course or licensing. When I first started, it wasn't a licensing. Immediately the year after I started, they started the licensing process.
Oh, so you came in right at the beginning of the...
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And so I had a little experience before I had to go through to taking the license. Okay. But Sandra, she was on me like, you have the personality, you can do this, let's do this. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And then that's it. It took off from there. I just was very steadfast, and I was determined to become a broker and own my own mortgage brokerage company.
And that's when you got your house in Toronto?
Sandra, I actually was, we already had owned a home in this area called Mississauga in Canada, in Ontario. And so that house, it was a very multi-purpose home, but it wasn't like the dream house for me.
Yeah.
And so in that transition from that property to the newer property that would have, sustained my household, that's when, after that transaction is when I started doing mortgages, because Sandra showed me her paycheck.
Oh, wow.
And when she showed me her paycheck, I'm like, what? This is what we have.
Motivating, very motivating.
Right. However, what I didn't know is in real estate and any type of service providing business, a lot of people tap into their core influence or their core spheres of influence. So people that they went to school with, and I didn't have that. So I really had to work double hard because I didn't have schoolmates that I could market to. I didn't have like that network that I left in New York or in the US at the time. So I had to go cold hard and figure it out.
Nice.
Yeah. So
shout out to you.
Yeah.
That's a lot. While being a mom.
Wow. Never checked out being a mom. Had to be the mom. Mom was my main priority. And I never really went hard as an agent. It was just to make sure that we were good. And then the money just flowed because, my services were good and people, gravitated to me because I was honest, because I was genuine. And in the mortgage industry, especially over there, there's a lot of people that go above and beyond to be crooks and to take advantage of people and mislead people. And that's just not my heart, because that's not what I want for myself. And so in my mind and in my motto was always to, treat people how I want to be treated and deal with people as if it is my own personal transaction.
Nice.
Yeah.
Genuine.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's amazing right there. Wow, shout out to you for just holding on and fighting through it to finding your niche, something that works out for you.
Yep.
So Alfred, I guess after you working out in the gym and she telling you everything she just told me what she into, so what's going on in your mind? How do you figure it out as a man? You finally met a woman that match your energy. She's into the same thing you're into. How do you, within a year, say, we gotta bring these tables together. We gotta merge this thing together. How did you put together the plan once y'all left Honduras?
Well, when you become successful at what you do, the next thing to do is find that one, because behind every great man, there's a wonderful, powerful woman. So after having a conversation with her and hearing her language, she spoke what I was looking for, the nurturing, the way she spoke to me, the way she handled me, the way she helped me, her influence, and I knew that was it, and I knew that it was going to take work.
What you mean by work? Because you when did you propose exactly? You got married within a year. When did you propose? Because you knew leaving the vacation, okay, this is going to be my wife. You spoke it into existence already. When did you say, okay, I'm going to propose, and then within a year, we have to be under the same roof. We can't do this long distance thing, and you in Canada, and I'm in Philly.
So
how God gave you this plan, because that's a short period of time, and that's actually how they did it back in the days anyway. When a man took a woman out on a date or met a woman, he knew within the first 3-4, he didn't have to go on 100 dates to figure it out.
No. So she lived in Canada. I lived in Philly. The initial plan was to see each other once a month, but it ended up being every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Back and forth. We spent a lot of time together over the year, and we was in we was invited to a wedding in March of 2019.
Yeah.
I already had talked about marrying her, but we were in. Where did she get married at?
Oh, Aruba.
Aruba.
Oh, that's a beautiful place. Yeah, I've been there.
We was at Aruba. We was in Aruba. We was eating dinner.
Oh, yeah.
And my sister recorded the whole thing. I sat it up. She was sitting at this end. I was sitting next to her, and she was eating. And I got down on one knee while she was eating, and she looked up. If I could get the video, I had the ring out. And she was lost for words, like. Our mom was like, "I never seen Rika lost for words." Like, that was my. And when I did it, I knew that it was going to take work.
Nice.
I knew. And it's great when you work on the things you need to work on.
Because you're already set in life. You had your real estate going and everything. You're only missing that one, like you said, the key piece. The strong woman, the backbone.
Yep.
So now you both have already have family and kids already. How do you in line? How do you now? You got to get the whole household in line. How do you get the kids on both sides in line to say, hey, we found each other. We finally found each other. We're falling in love with each other, and we need y'all to understand. Well, we don't need y'all to understand anything, but y'all getting on board. How do you do that? How do y'all merge the kids together and everybody to become a family, a whole family?
Well, I'm the man. That's the woman.
Yes.
The woman is with the children.
Okay.
More than men. So I just happened to have my youngest son with me at the time, so I raised him. So it was kind of easy because, our children, they liked me. We had a great relationship. And my son, it was just me and my son. We could blend, and I had my nephews. So it was really all women, all guys.
Oh, okay.
So I come with all men.
Uh-huh.
She come with all young
Mostly ladies, yeah.
Right. With the two sons, and my oldest son is around her oldest son age, so they clicked. And my youngest son is around her youngest daughter age, they clicked.
Okay.
So it's like, we click, they click, we all click, we all here together. As you know, family, they had their differences. Children, they were older. I'm for the kids, like how to get along with kids. And,
yes.
As my wife said, I might be a little bit too soft and leaning towards the children, but that's what I do. Like, I'm the pushover one for the children. Like, I rocks with them. I love the children.
Yeah.
But it works. With that backbone back there, it's always going to be a great place when you have that person pushing and somebody pulling. And that's how it works here. We got the kids right together.
Nice. That's amazing.
So the best thing about that is that we were all on the cruise together. His children.
Oh, yeah, but the whole family.
By just having to be there.
Oh, wow.
My son's oldest family, my oldest son, his family, they throw the cruises. And my youngest son and my nephews was with me on the cruise. Her mom, my sister, and all her kids was on the cruise.
I know how y'all travel. Yeah.
About 12 of us on the cruise for my family, and that was just... And we were supposed to be on a totally different cruise.
Yeah.
I had already booked a 5-day cruise, and then my sisters in the end, they were like, "Oh, well, some of the places on the 5-day cruise we already went," and so last minute they changed it to a 7-day cruise. And for him, his mom was supposed to be on the cruise with the kids, but in the last minute, he had just put together a deal for her to purchase a home, so she didn't go on the cruise, and happenstance, he came on the cruise. So when I tell you all the
things that happen,
things were aligned
to make it happen.
And so we happened to go one of the nights that we were on the cruise. He took everybody out to dinner at the paid restaurant. We were all getting tired of the buffet, so he took us all to the paid restaurant where all the children, and my family, we all came together.
Everybody get the menu out. You order because it wasn't at the buffet.
Yeah, we had to order.
So you dining in.
We're dining in.
Oh, wow.
So obviously, from
the beginning, you ain't had yo mom, who that? Yo pops, yo who's that?
Right. We sat down and broke bread together.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So they didn't have to wait to meet him. We all met him at the same time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
For his children, they all met at the same time.
Wow. Yeah. So now it's 2023.
Yeah.
Alfred, how, going into almost 4 years now of marriage, how do you maintain as the man, the head? How do you, because I don't like to say black, but we in America, that's what they identify as. But I know you could say you're Jamaican. You might say I'm Jamaican. Don't call me black. You might say I don't know what you identify as. So it depends on what you identify. But they said black families are being attacked. I mean, they loving this single parent, this broken family. So as a man, how do you maintain the energy from the day you met to keeping your word as protecting the family, providing for the family? How do you keep that energy up and the love in today's society? What do you do to maintain that?
So first, I'm gonna give a shout out to the backbone.
Mm-hmm.
We have to stick together, and it take work. You have to work on yourself just as well as the relationship. And if you don't, you know how people say we grew apart or we got differences and communication. I recommend that you seek help for childhood trauma. Those come up a lot in relationships, and you think that it's the other person, and it's really not them. You know, I met her 4 years ago, like you said, and I'm 46. She couldn't possibly have given me all the troubles that I have in my life. So, you know, we blame the person closest to us.
Sure.
And I would do it all over the same, because if I didn't, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Right.
It just take communication, support, love, and understanding of knowing that person. Oh, wait a minute. God.
There you go, God. There you go.
God is first.
The breath in your nostrils right now. Don't forget to acknowledge that.
Right.
Yes.
And he said, "Who joined y'all together?
God.
Yes.
Don't let nothing break that apart."
God.
And as the man, if you following that and you say you following God, there's nothing could come and destroy a family that
Absolutely.
not just eat together. You said break bread, but pray together. We got to continue to pray together. You know, keep this foundation right, because there's been attacks all around the home. But you say you got to put on that armor, that whole armor, to protect the home, the helmet, the sword, the breastplate. You got to be equipped, because if not, you can't leave no room for the enemy to come in. He wants to come in.
All the time.
Prayed up.
Yeah, we gotta be more prayed up, because we gotta be prayed up for the kids, because they don't even know no better
Pray up for them.
for things they can't even see.
Yes.
Yep.
So how with all that now? How does that flow into that's home? That's home. This is y'all heaven. Y'all have it in order. Y'all have a structure already. How does that flow now into the real estate, y'all business? Because I believe that. I believe a husband and wife, the reason why they grow apart, because she working here, you working there, you spending more time at work. And a lot of people at work don't respect marriages, so this one trying to get with your wife, this one trying to get with your husband. So but with y'all in the same business, the same field, does that help that grow stronger?
Yes.
And more successful? Do you see more success after meeting? Basically, it's like your twin, like y'all growing together, y'all one.
My wife, she has this saying. You know, I always got to resort back to the backbone. My wife, she has a saying, however you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And until I realized what that really meant, and I understand what it means. So if I can love up on her and treat her the way she needs to be treated, and understand her and accept her for who she is, whether, you know, good or bad, and I'm telling that person that, then the business flourishes without thinking about it. Like, it's kind of difficult sometimes, but you know, she makes better decisions with the finances than I do. So, you know, I had to turn that over to her, which was kind of hard for me and a struggle.
Turn it over to the wife.
Yes.
That's being real, though. That's being real.
I love her for that. That's what she brings as a woman, and I can accept it now. For a lot of years, I couldn't. I would argue about it, but when you marry, you have to make the sacrifices. So,
compromise, right?
Yes.
And he did it. Compromise.
Yeah.
She's very smart and intelligent about what she does, and the decisions that she makes. It helps me, and I'm just learning how to treat her and how to understand her, and it helps me in my business, because I was very angry, and she comes along with the nice thought that don't act like that, Alfred. It's okay, and it helps me. Like she teaches me how to nurture relationships and understand them. Yeah, it's a balance.
She bringing the balance.
Yeah.
Yes,
she balances me out very much, and I thank her for that. So that's the love in the house translates to the love in the business, and it works.
Wow, that's amazing.
I like the way you put that.
So how you feel about all that? I mean.
Well, yeah, he is very good at putting it out there. That the fact that he actually was transparent that with regards to the finances and stuff in terms of how to build that foundation for the business. We were really learning because we're bringing together two different worlds.
Yes.
So. Yeah, that was a lot of work, and he's like to say the backbone, but I have to give him credit because, like he said, the childhood traumas and how we operate in our family life, and then coming together with someone else, it's like a whole different world. And you really operate and think like, okay, you could just be the normal way that you operate, but no, that is where the work come in at. You have to unlearn everything you think you know about relationship and family and business sometimes because it's a different beast over here than where I was coming from. So I had to really take a lot of time and pay attention to him and listen to him to learn the language and to understand. I came from a law state where you use lawyers for real estate transactions. And I didn't have to show up on the closing date for a real estate transaction. Whereas here, when I got here, it's like, oh, we got to go to closing. And I'm like, go to closing? Why I got to go to closing? What is that about? You know? And then, there's that little conflict because I think I know what I know and he knows what he knows. And it's like, okay. And so I had to open my mind. I had to kind of release and let go and kind of just, move more towards him and what he was saying and how he was, trying to teach me and show me things. And the most powerful thing that he had done for our relationship is that he got help. He went to seek help for us. Okay. and then when we got in front of someone that assisted us, he did not do our sessions together. He did our sessions separately. Okay. We were, seeing him separately in order to understand who we are in our foundation. There was no, he probably...
You talking about in marriage?
In marriage.
Okay.
In
marriage. So before getting married, there was no marriage counseling?
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, you did?
We did.
Okay, I think that's very important. That could save a lot of marriages. Because you laid a foundation, right? Who's going to be the breadwinner? Who's the disciplinary? Is it in that kind of structure when you get marriage counseling before marriage?
So
how does that work?
That's not how. Because remember, we are already in our adult lives, right? Okay. And so we also had thriving careers. So it wasn't a breadwinning conversation. Okay. It wasn't a disciplinary conversation because, again, our children were
of age, of that kind of age.
Yeah, they were all over 10 or 11 or something like that. And so the conversation was more so about, how do we integrate? Who's going to relocate? Who's going?
And Alfred said he ain't going to kid. He said
actually, he wanted to.
Oh, you wanted to? Oh, he was willing. Oh man.
We were both open.
Okay.
Like we were really in that first year. We were so much more open than we are now. Yeah. We were a lot more open than we are now.
So you're happy you made the decision to come to Philly, or?
I don't know if I'm happier. I was happier after COVID hit. After COVID hit.
Oh, y'all got married pre-COVID.
Got married pre-COVID. So not being stuck like the way the Canadians were stuck. Oh, yeah. I was happier after COVID.
That is right. You had a little more freedom over here.
Yeah, and my family, my dad, my parents were here.
True.
And my mom was ill, which is the reason why we even went on the cruise. Okay. And so that flexibility of being able to, we did not sit still during COVID. We were up and down the East Coast. We were in our cars.
Essential. Yeah, was essential. Y'all was essential.
And so, definitely after COVID happened, I was grateful that I decided to come to the States and go from there. Wow. And start the business here. So yeah, it took some time because again, like I gave away my whole network of who I know and what I know and so on and so forth. It was literally starting from scratch for me.
Wow.
So the counseling prepared, the pre-counseling prepared. We spoke with a therapist. Her name was Charmaine, amazing. She started her new practice. She's in Canada, so we met with her. And then after meeting with Charmaine a few times, and the best thing about her is that her husband had to relocate from the States to Canada.
Oh, so it's a vice versa.
So it was vice versa. So she had so much knowledge how to prepare us on that transition.
Oh, nice.
It was amazing. And, and he was a ball player. He was an NBA ball player. And so her counseling definitely helped us to scratch the surface, but it was really only the beginning. Mm-hmm. And we also got spiritual counseling from a pastor as well. So we didn't just stop there. We didn't go off of our own understanding. We really, truly tried to prepare ourselves as much as possible, you would say?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. God was all in the midst of it. And then our counselor that we hooked up with after we got married, God-fearing man, God in the middle of it, God in the center of it. Every counselor that we had, thank God. And we weren't really, it was just on the referral base. And we were spiritually based people. And that was such an amazing blessing for us.
This is amazing. I just seeing y'all operate in y'all oneness right here in front of me. Yeah. You can feel the energy, from the wedding and then through the photos you be sharing and y'all, whatever y'all share on social media, you could just feel the energy, the love, the oneness. And look, the effort to have a successful marriage. You just don't want to stop, like you said before you got married, stop counseling in marriage. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. That's what they're there for. They went to school. We have to give them the opportunity to do their job.
That's what their professionalism is, just like we're professional in what we do. So,
okay. Yeah. So, wow. Now, as we close, before you got married, as a single mother, getting into the real estate and not giving up on love, what would you say to the woman that was in your position who didn't know it could even happen because they say the dating world is crazy. They say all these different things. What would you say, what kind of encouraging words you could say to that person, that woman out there that have a family, that's busy, that don't think it's possible to find someone?
I would say, I think do the work on yourself first. Mm-hmm. Really, truly get to know who you are, what you want, what your needs are. And after you know what you want, think about what you really need, right? Because we tend to ignore the red flags when we are getting what we want. However, what we need is something entirely different.
And more important.
And so for me, I wanted the cutie that went to the gym and worked out. However, after getting with Alfred, I needed someone to challenge me. I needed someone that removed my fake good persona. Like, that representative, oh my goodness, he broke that representative down to the floor. Like, however I thought I was, he unzipped that. And so for that woman that have all these things going on, I'm so grateful that for sure throughout my time, and trust me, I was at the height of my career when I met Alfred.
Oh, nice.
And I put that all on the line because at the end of the day, I knew it wasn't keeping me warm at night. And I had to make a decision, that and trust God too in that process. Faith, that no matter what, however that's going to go, this was an integral part of what I was needing for myself. All the hustle and bustle before was so that I can make sure my children were good.
Yes.
But this part of what I was doing was to make sure that I was good.
There you go. Don't forget yourself. A lot of people get caught up in the work and in the hustle and bustle. We forget about ourselves. My kids come first.
Yes.
This and that. No, God come first. And then when we cook for the family, the man don't get a plate. We all sitting at the table together. We're going to pray over this food and we're going to eat together. So, yeah, I'm glad y'all got God as the core of y'all relationship.
Yes.
You know? And,
100%.
and what would you say, Alfred, to the men out there who is in their career and been through relationship problems or been through relationships and have kids and don't think it's possible to find someone they can marry? When God said, when you he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. They don't think it's possible, especially with social media and the things. Yeah. What would you say to that brother that's on that cruise right now, that's working out in the gym, his family's good, everything good, but he's not good. He's missing that number one piece. What kind of encouraged words you could share with that brother right now?
First, I would say, get grounded spiritually. Mm-hmm. Find out who you are. Learn how to love yourself. And then go find that missing piece. That woman. Because if you can be good to her, you can be good to yourself, you can be good to her. That's what I can say.
Go find that missing piece.
And for the women, I would also say, put together your top 7. Like, what is your 7 things that you want to see in that person that you need, and what you are willing to give, because you have to give that of which you want to receive.
Absolutely.
So
Reciprocated energy.
Right. So if you have these things on your list, be 100% ready to show up and represent for those things.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow, this is amazing. You get to see the butterflies in this room, you know? The love, that's the foundation, family, and then everything else. Yeah. You know, God, family, and then everything else. And
God, your husband, your mate, your partner, and then everything else.
It's like a triangle offense.
Yeah.
And I see y'all working it very well, you know? This is beautiful. You know, I thank y'all for inviting me y'all home and coming on the platform, Speak Life, Shine Bright, you know, spreading the gems, sharing how y'all story, how y'all met, you know what I mean, y'all background and whatnot. I hope someone out there can come across this podcast and be inspired, you know, motivated to say, you know what, man, if the Millers can hold on and make it and look like they're growing together. They bought mixed families and they're all molded and they're growing together. Maybe I could just stand in line and not give up. Maybe I can keep myself, like you said, in a respectable manner and list these 7 things I'm looking for in a mate and prepare myself to also not only list them, but match that. You asking for something that you can't give. So be careful what you ask for.
Yes.
And then the things you asking for, pray for it.
That's podcast number 2.
That's what you ask for. Yeah. Because when you get it, are you gonna be able to maintain it? That's why one of the questions I asked, how y'all maintaining that? Yeah. It's good. The honeymoon stage is so beautiful, but how do you keep that? How do you keep it going? It's tough, but it really lies a lot on a man. If we can maintain that same energy that we put out in the beginning of trying to pursue you and show you that we want you to wear our last name. You know what I mean? We want to put this ring on your finger. You know, how do we maintain that energy throughout the years? We know it's not easy. It have its ups and downs. But as your thing says, make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. If it ain't right, fix it. Make it right. Yep. Make it happen. Yep. Make it grow.
Yes.
And I can see y'all doing the work. So I'm sure somebody's going to come across this podcast and be like, wow, this is amazing. And you don't have to give up on love. Like you said, you felt the success, but you know you was missing something. He said he felt the success, but he knew he was missing something. So now y'all bring that balance. It's not a seesaw, one side leaning over. No, it's a balance.
Yeah.
I deserve love. So I'm happy for this. Like I said, that wedding was amazing. That wedding, oh my goodness, like that's one of the best weddings I've ever been to. They put on a show in the middle. They came out the van. I felt like I was in Louisiana somewhere down in New Orleans. Yeah, that was beautiful, man. And it's good to see y'all just continuing that love and growing in it, you know? So this is amazing. Like I said, I finally got y'all on Speak Light, Shine Bright.
Yes.
This came out beautiful. Is everything I was expecting and more. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I know that you're getting ready to look to start up your own podcast.
Yes.
Do you want to throw some, what's the ideas or the theme or what you guys going to for 2023?
Well, like I said, and as Alfred continued to hint on, that there's that work aspect of it.
Are you still brainstorming?
And no, in terms of marriage, relationship, business,
Okay.
real estate. So that's what the podcast will be around. You know, really dropping the gems and speaking about the hard parts. You know, like you get on the social medias and these platforms, and everybody show you the end result. They don't let you in on the struggles of it. The times when I think we broke up like 15 times. In the past couple of weeks. And so, I'm sure he had a couple of conversations of he's done, and I had a couple. And so, like, how do you work through that, and what are the sacrifices you have to make? So that's where the podcast will be surrounded around those hard parts, and really speaking to those things, and letting people know, like, you just got to go through that process and stick with it.
Nice.
You got to really truly understand and learn what they call that unconditional love. Your love can't be because, I love him because of this. It has to be because I truly want to love him for who he is.
Unconditional. No matter what.
Yes.
We're going to work through this.
Yes.
These 15 times, we're going to work through this. But we ain't going to bed unhappy, mad at each other.
Well, even if we do in the morning, somebody better say good morning.
That's
first.
right. That's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing is perfect love, but y'all striving for perfection.
Yes.
I can see it.
Yes.
Y'all not letting it go tossed to and fro.
Right.
You got it on a solid foundation. It's planted, it's rooted, and let it grow. Continue to grow. Into the podcast. Let the world see this. We need to see more images like this, the Millers coming together, meeting, and a beautiful story. Like you said, a 5-6 hour conversation. Now what? We 5 years later, almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
So we want to give a shout out to y'all for coming on Speak Life Shine Bright podcast. Appreciate y'all letting me come into your home, and we doing a podcast here. And I know this is going to grow into something beautiful. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen to this podcast of the Millers. They're sharing their story on a road to love and merging their families together, and the real estate and the gems and the jewels and everything that they share. Let it be uplifting and inspirational to anybody who come across this podcast. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Speak Life Shine Bright. We got more podcast coming up this year where we're bringing more inspirational people on, people who's consistent in their life, they committed, they're growing, they're into the real estate, whatever business they're into, and they're making it a success. So those are the people that we're going to bring onto the platform for 2023. So I just want to thank y'all for joining us. Speak Life, Shine Bright. I'm your host, Kurt, and I'm out.